Lime Limited? Oh, good morning, Lord Prothero. No, Mr. Lime hasn't come in yet. Yes, certainly I will. Goodbye. Good morning, Mr. Lime.
Good morning. They match the color of your eyes.
They're lovely, Mr. Lime.
They certainly are.
Mr. Lime, Aristides Gamaliel is waiting in your office.
Oh, let him wait, Brad. You look exhausted.
He's been working all night again. Honestly, something's going to have to be done.
I suggest you don't keep him waiting too long, Mr. Lime. I've never trusted that man ever since he swore he'd get even with you after you beat him in the Sudanese minerals affair. And I don't like him being in there alone with the Cellini candelabrum.
You worry too much, Brad.
How are you, dear Harry? The moment I read in the papers that you managed to purchase this from the Duchess, I said to myself, let bygones be bygones. I must buy this from Harry. Don't worry. I don't doubt its authenticity. It's flawless. Quite flawless.
It's not quite flawless, Chameleon.
Oh, you mean the missing pearl? Marie Antoinette broke that in a fury. To someone like myself, it enhances its value.
The value to me is $20,000.
Well, I know better than to argue with you. All right, $20,000. I shall write a check right now. Good morning, my dear Webster.
Good morning. Your reservation, Mr. Lime, and the contract for your meeting in Nice.
Thank you, Brad. Now will you go home and get some sleep?
Here you are. $20,000. This is mine. I shall want a bill of sale, of course.
You shall have it, and the Cellini when your check clears the bank.
You're a man after my own heart, Mr. Webster. I'm beginning to see who really runs this organization. It should be called Bradford Webster Incorporated.
Mr. Lime, your plane leaves for Nice in 2 hours. If you would care to call tomorrow morning when your check has cleared.
Yes, yes. What a pity. What a pity.
What is a pity?
The other one, the pair to this, disappeared from the face of the earth.
I didn't know there was a pair.
Yeah, Cellini made two of these, Brad, for Cosimo de' Medici.
Yes, and they got separated in the 18th century. The other one used to belong to a Count Reinhardt in Vienna.
Was stolen from him 10 years ago. It hasn't shown up since.
Just think of it, the two together. Matching pair would be worth a fortune.
What do you call a fortune?
$100,000. You get the pair to this for me, and I pay you $80,000.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gamaliel. I have better things to do with my time than to look for stolen art objects.
Oh, yes, of course. I forgot. How stupid of me. You have Harry's entire business empire to manage. You should be sitting there instead of Harry. Bradford Webster Incorporated. Goodbye, Harry.
May I sit down, Mr. Lime?
Last I heard of Reinhardt, he'd lost all his money and was living somewhere in the south of France.
Mr. Lime, you're not thinking of...
Why not? I knew Reinhardt in Vienna just after the war. His granddaughter disappeared, a little girl of 10. I helped him find her.
But, Mr. Lime, you have the meeting in Nice, and you have to be back here by Thursday.
Well, don't I have time to see Reinhardt on the way back? Perhaps the missing one's been recovered.
If it has, and Gamaliel wants to pay us $80,000, I think you have time, Mr. Lime.
Yes. My name is Harry Lime. I'd like to see Count Reinhardt.
I'm sorry, that is impossible.
Well, I'm an old friend of his.
Oh, you will be sorry to learn that he has died last month after a long illness.
Oh, I am sorry. Is his granddaughter still living here?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, I'd like to see her to offer my sympathy.
Miss Reinhardt has gone away after the funeral.
When will she be back?
I do not know, sir.
I may be back.
Perhaps I should have seen him.
No, my lady, no.
Bradford Webster International Limited. No, Mr. Webster hasn't come yet, Your Highness. I'm sorry, but he's so successful, so busy, rich, and important that he can't possibly see you till August. Yes. Goodbye. Good morning, Mr. Webster.
Good morning, baby. These match your eyes.
They're lovely, Mr. Webster.
Lower your eyes.
Mr. Webster. Mr. Webster. Aristides Gamaliel is waiting in your office for you.
Let him wait.
Mr. Webster. I never trusted him, Mr. Webster. Ever since we found the time bomb in the box of chocolates he sent you. And I don't like him being alone in there with $1,347,000 in currency lying on your desk.
You worry too much, Harry.
How are you, my dear Bradford?
Now, what can I do for you, Buster?
I've seen the papers that you recently purchased a Taj Mahal.
And?
I'd like to buy it from you, my dear Bradford. Good morning, my dear Lyme.
Mr. Gamaliel. Mr. Webster, we're exactly $687,243 short.
Buy it, Chameleon? With whose money? Yours or mine?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you?
I don't understand. How did it get there?
Mr. Webster?
Later, baby, later.
But Mr. Webster. Mr. Webster, wake up. Please, Mr. Webster, wake up. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, honestly, working all night again.
Good morning, Mary. Miss Pemberton.
I'm just going to have to make you take some sleeping pills. Oh, Mr. Gamaliel's here, and the bank just called. His check is good.
Ask him to come in.
Mr. Webster will see you now, Mr. Gamaliel.
Thank you, my dear. Come on, Samuel. Good morning, my dear Webster.
Good morning. Here is your bill of sale. I was going to have the candelabrum crated for you.
No, it's far safer that it be carried by hand in my limousine. Sandor. Oh, and don't forget, find a pair to it. $80,000. Perhaps even 85.
I'll bear it in mind. Good day.
Always a delight to see you, Mr. Webster.
Good morning. My name is Sonia Clausen. I should like, please, to see Mr. Harry Lyme.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lyme's away.
Oh, dear. I've come all the way from Copenhagen.
Oh, Mr. Webster, this is Miss Clausen. She wanted to see Mr. Lyme.
Perhaps I can help you.
It's about the Cellini candelabrum.
What about it?
My father in Copenhagen wishes to buy it from Mr. Lyme. He offers $50,000.
$50,000?
They are worth a great deal of money as a pair, you know.
As a pair?
Oh, yes. My father has the other one.
Your father has the Reinhardt Cellini?
Yes, and so naturally he
See if you can locate Mr. Lyme.
All I know is he's somewhere in the south of France.
Oh, dear. Come in, Miss Clausen, come in.
My father is an art dealer in Copenhagen. He recovered the Reinhardt Cellini last month.
Miss Clausen, if it is the Reinhardt Cellini, it's stolen property and belongs to the insurance company who paid the claim.
No. My father fixed this with the insurance company. He gave them money back. I have a certificate here. My father, you see, wants the pair. So he sent me to buy Mr. Lyme's Cellini for $50,000.
Oh. Well, I'm afraid Mr. Lyme will not be willing to sell you his Cellini. But he might, on the other hand, be willing to buy your Cellini for $50,000.
Well, this could be possible because my father told me If I was not able to buy Mr. Lime's Cellini, that there was a rich collector in London who might buy the Reinhardt from us. His name is Gamelian.
I know Gamelian very well, and I know that he wouldn't pay you the same price for the Cellini that we would. The Cellini would have to be brought from Copenhagen and authenticated, and...
Oh, but I have brought it to England with me. I could have it here in an hour. This is a firm offer. $50,000?
Yes. $50,000.
Hello, Martha.
Harry. Harry Lime.
I came to the front door earlier today and your servant told me you weren't home. I thought that door might be lucky.
What is it you want, Harry?
I was sorry to hear about your grandfather.
He had been ill for a long time. Why did you want to see him, Harry?
I'm looking for your Cellini candelabrum.
Looking for it? But why come here?
Hasn't it been heard of since it was stolen?
No, never. It has disappeared completely.
Was it insured?
Yes, it was insured. For $5,000. What right have you to ask?
What are you afraid of, Martha?
All I can tell you is that if you have an affectionate memory of my grandfather, forget the Reinhardt Cellini. Harry, please, go away. You are not needed here.
You're quite sure? I see. Well, thank you very much.
Miss Clausen says she can't wait any longer. She's looking up Mr. Gamelian's address in the telephone directory. And I don't know where Mr. Lime is. He's left Nice.
This is terrible. Miss Pemberton, do you think Mr. Lime would approve? After all, it's an investment of $50,000.
I'm sure that whatever decision you make will be the right one. You may come in now, Miss Clausen.
Here it is, Mr. Webster. You're very clever to know that the Reinhardt Cellini does not have the missing pearl.
$50,000?
That's the offer you made to me.
Very well. $50,000.
What? What do you mean the government has confiscated it? No. They've confiscated our railroad as well.
No, I don't believe it.
And I suppose the gold mines, too. Gold mines, too. No, there was nothing you could do.
Perhaps I should come back later. I only came to tell you that I found the Reinhardt Cellini, the pair to the one we sold you.
What? Yes.
But you said you'd buy it for $80,000.
Oh, yes, I did. But that was before all this.
Mr. Gamelian does not now have even $80.
But I bought it because he said he'd pay me...
Please go. This is an unfortunate time. Please. When a man has been ruined.
Oh, I see. I'm very sorry, Mr. Gamelian. Extremely sorry. Oh. Yes, I see. You're absolutely sure, Your Excellency. Mr. Gamelian's African holdings were not confiscated? I see. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
I want you to have some coffee and some sandwiches, and then you're to have a little nap. If you insist on working all night, you've got to get a little sleep during the day.
He lied to me. Gamelian lied to me. He's not bankrupt at all.
He isn't? Well, then why did he tell you he was?
I can't imagine.
Drink your coffee now before it gets cold.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, no.
I need this, Harry, I can tell you.
Let me get this perfectly clear, Mr. Webster. You bought the second Cellini thinking it was the Reinhardt. You paid $50,000 for it, assuming you'd sell it to Chameleon for $80,000, thereby making $30,000 profit. In actual fact, you bought back the same Cellini you sold him for $20,000, thereby losing $30,000 to Chameleon.
That's about it, Harry.
Miss Clausen and Mr. Chameleon were in it together.
Right, Harry.
I must say, Mr. Webster, you seem to have taken the whole matter very lightly.
It's only money, Harry.
It's a $30,000 loss that I have to account for. You can't let him get away with it, Mr. Webster.
I don't intend to.
What are you going to do? Do you have a plan in mind?
You should know me better than to ask me that, Harry. I always have a plan, and it's always ingenious.
What is it, Mr. Webster?
It's quite simple, really. I merely make Chameleon think that the Reinhardt Cellini does exist.
But how?
By having Chameleon overhear you calling me from the south of France and telling me that you found the Reinhardt Cellini.
Overhear me calling you from the south of France?
Why, of course.
But how?
You know, sometimes, Harry, you're not quite as bright up here as you could be. I merely drag out some old tape recordings of your phone calls, pick out some sentences that could apply, and splice them together. Got it?
That's brilliant, Mr. Webster. It's positively brilliant.
Thank you, Harry. But do you have to keep on shaking me?
I'm sorry, Mr. Webster, but it was the only way I could wake you up.
Oh,
It's 6 o'clock and I'm going home.
I must have dropped off.
You certainly did. What were you dreaming about?
Dreaming? Oh, yes. My plan.
What plan?
To fix Chameleon. Yes, why not? Why not?
My dear Webster, you're embarrassing me with your groveling.
Please, Mr. Chameleon, I've already cost Mr. Lime over $30,000. Have pity on me and buy the Cellini back again.
This is boring me. Throw him out.
Please, Mr. Chameleon.
Chameleon here.
Is Mr. Webster there, please? I have a very important call for him from Mr. Lime.
Hold on. Harry's on the line. If you want privacy, you can take it on the hall extension.
Hello, Brad.
Yes, Mr. Lime? Are you in the south of France?
Yes, and I've got some good news for you.
Don't tell me you found the Reinhardt Cellini.
That's right.
That's wonderful, Mr. Lime.
Harry has found the other Cellini.
What?
Sorry, Chameleon, I've changed my mind. Goodbye.
So have I, my dear Webster. It was all a joke. Of course, I'll buy back the... Together, they are worth a fortune.
May I remind you, sir, that you still have the bill of sale for the Cellini. Legally, it is still yours.
Oh, so it is. So it is, Sandler, yes.
I'm coming. It's after midnight. What do you want?
I want to see Miss Reinhardt.
I told you she went away.
Go and tell her I'm here.
It's all right, Leutner. I was sure it was you when I first heard you knock. Harry, what do you want now?
I still want to talk to you about the Reinhardt Cellini.
Harry, I told you.
I know what you told me. Can I talk to you inside?
Yes, of course.
Since I was here earlier, I've been asking questions in the neighborhood and getting answers. It was in April of 1951 that your grandfather was first taken ill. He needed treatment, expensive treatment. You tried to borrow money for it, didn't you?
Do you want me to go to prison? Is that what you want?
Far from it. But you couldn't borrow money. On May the 4th, you reported the theft of the Cellini to the insurance company. On the 20th, they paid the claim. On the 22nd, your grandfather's treatments began. They kept him alive for 10 years. Where is the Cellini, Martin?
No, put it away.
I'm not your enemy. Put it away. If you two did what I think you did, there's no reason for you still to live in fear.
It was his pride, Harry. My grandfather's pride. I begged him to let me sell the Cellini, but he said he would rather die than face the shame of selling it.
It was my idea, Mr. Lime.
Where is it, Martin?
It has been here, Harry, all the time.
Still here, Harry? It must be 3 o'clock in the morning. Go home and get some sleep. The audit man can wait.
It's not that, Mr. Webster. To be quite frank with you, I'm extremely worried.
Now, why is that, Harry?
You finally succeeded in persuading Mr. Gamilian there really was a pair to the Cellini candelabrum.
Right, Harry.
Don't you see he might try to get the one we have?
Of course, Harry. Now, that's using your old head.
Doesn't it occur to you, Mr. Webster, that instead of giving you a really good price for it, you might try to steal it?
Of course he'll try to steal it, Harry. That's what I'm counting on.
But, Mr. Webster, what if they come with guns?
So, Harry, they come with guns.
Mr. Webster, look. Look there, Mr. Webster.
We've come for the Cellini, Mr. Webster.
Have you now? Who's that right behind you?
Behind me?
Now, what can I do for you, Buster?
One step closer and you're a dead man.
Mr. Webster, be careful.
You're a coward, Sander. You haven't got the nerve to pull that trigger, have you?
No, I haven't.
I wish I could do things like that, Mr. Webster.
It's a little trick I picked up in Vienna, Harry.
I still have the gun, you know.
Put it down, baby, and come here.
No. No.
I said put it down and come here. There's more to life than shooting people.
Really, Mr. Webster?
What's the meaning of this?
We've come for the Cellini, if you don't mind.
But I do mind. This is armed robbery. It happens to be illegal in England.
Who is armed? These are your guns. I merely removed the bullets for safety.
Mr. Gamilian still has the bill of sale, remember? Legally, this is his.
Who's that behind you?
Oh, no, Webster. I'm not really falling for that one.
I was afraid you wouldn't.
What's going on here? Gamilian, what's he doing here? Welcome back to the land of the living, Brad. Drink this.
Thank you. Where are they?
They're in jail. The police took them away.
Oh, Mr. Lime, the most terrible things happened while you were gone. I bought the candelabrum back from Gamilian, except that... What's this?
Brandy.
I think I've had enough. I'm beginning to see double.
No, you're not, Brad.
Yes, I am, Mr. Lime. I see 2 candelabra.
There are 2. I found the Reinhardt and bought it.
You bought the Reinhardt? That means we have the pair. They're worth a fortune. Everything's all right, Mr. Lime.
Only because you were clever enough to buy the other candelabrum from Gamilian. Proves you have foresight, Brad. You know, I'm beginning to think it should be Bradford Webster Incorporated.
No, Mr. Lime.
No.
No, I wouldn't dream of it. Dream?